Hey there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. Today I have for you two wood Easter egg decor pieces made from a beautiful napkin with lovely orchid flowers and greenery from Home Goods. I created a very pretty egg from the wood block egg from the Dollar Tree and a wooden egg I had purchased from Hobby Lobby using a beautiful napkin, pretty ribbons, and pearl stick-on trim embellishments. I created these lovely Easter decor pieces. Such enjoyable, easy, and inexpensive projects. Let me show you how I created these Easter eggs. Welcome to my channel today. If you are not currently a subscriber, I hope you will consider becoming one. And as well, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this tutorial and share my channel with others. And as always, your questions and your comments are always welcomed. Okay, let's get busy creating this very pretty Easter decor piece. Okay, here is that beautiful stand-up egg that can be found at the Dollar Tree. Now, I am going to use this piece to create a beautiful decor piece that will stand up, obviously. And I created it using this absolutely gorgeous, high-quality napkin from Home Goods. And you could tell it's a high quality by the thickness of the napkin. It's very, very pretty. So I love the colors for Easter, so I thought I would create a beautiful egg with this piece. Now, for this piece. Okay, now, for the center of the egg, I am going to use the napkin. I divided my egg in 3 sections. I'll talk more about that in just a minute. I'm going to be using some ribbons, of course. This thicker one I didn't end up using, but I did use an orchid ribbon that's a sheer ribbon, just like this one, just a little bit more narrow. Now, everything is going to be in shades of orchid here, as well as green, of course, because there's beautiful greenery on that napkin. Now, this is a beautiful Robert Stanley ribbon I've been using a lot of. It's a sheer wired ribbon. I'm sure I got that at 40% off on the sale week when ribbons are on sale at Hobby Lobby. And then, of course, I have some of my favorite satin ribbons that I pick up at Walmart. You know, I'm always talking about those beautiful narrow ribbons that they carry at Walmart. I never fail to pass by that department without stopping to look at the ribbons to see if there's anything new or to replenish the supply that I am using for all of my projects. Okay, those shimmery pins, those were from Temu. Thought maybe I was going to put it in the middle of the bow, and I made a change of plan there. Now, these pearl stick-on embellishments are in the Paper Studio section at Hobby Lobby. These are absolutely wonderful. That one is a Paper Studio product. Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful trim in pearls. And they have quite a stick on the back of them. So these stick so well. Now, I thought about using one of those pins and adding some pearls to it so it would coordinate with everything. But again, I made a change of mind. But honestly, that makes a beautiful, beautiful presentation as well. To use pins like that in the center of a bow. So you might want to think about that one as well. Whenever I work with trims like this, I always have my craft tweezers on hand. So you want to collect ribbons, anything you think you might want to use, different widths. I'm going to be showing you a really pretty bow that we're going to be placing on this egg. I have my mini Cricut heat press because I am going to apply that napkin with the heat method. The scrapbook paper, no, but definitely that napkin. That is the one and only way I do it because it is a phenomenal method. I have my little paper cutter there because whenever I do a project like this, I always like to have it to cut really, really straight paper lines, which I'm going to be doing for this egg. Okay, so I'm going to be peeling off this $1.25 sticker. At least for as long as it lasts, we'll be seeing the $1.25 sticker until it changes to $1.50. Yeah, so that's what's happening at Dollar Tree. So I don't know when, but it's pretty much seems like it's going to happen. Okay, so I divided my egg the way I thought that I wanted it to be divided, making the center, which is my real focal point of the egg with that beautiful napkin. I made that section larger because I really wanted to include all of those flowers on that napkin, as many as I possibly could, because it's just so pretty. Okay, so I am going to use some Snow White Waverly chalk paint to paint the sides of my piece and also the center where I'm going to be placing my napkin. I don't want to place it on that wood look. I want it to be white underneath there. So when my napkin is applied, it's going to look very pretty on a white surface. Okay, so I am pulling apart my napkin, and when you have a high quality napkin like this, it's more tightly adhered and pulling it off. So you really have to work a little bit to get that off. And I did use a little piece of masking tape to get that edge started. That really does help when you want to peel off the ply of that napkin. Okay, so my egg is all dry. I did use 2 coats of Snow White Waverly chalk paint. That first coat seems to soak right in, so I always like to add an extra coat. So now I have my napkin and I am going to rest it on my egg. In that center section, I want to showcase the prettiest flowers and as many flowers as possible on my egg on that center section. So fortunately, I can see right through that napkin, and I'm just taking my time, pressing my napkin down. I want to really delineate the edges so I can really see where am I going to place that egg on that, or place that napkin on the egg. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit of a trim to delineate exactly where the edges of my napkin are going to be placed. It's going to be, strategically done because that's, I really need for that to be placed properly. So if I cut around the napkin as much as possible, I can really get a good placement. So that's the way I think I want to have that placed on there. Now I am also going to be placing this on the other side, so I had to do another napkin because I want my piece to be double-sided. I'm actually putting different embellishments on each side. So that egg is going to be very beautiful from both sides. Not only is it going to be beautiful, it's going to be a little bit different on each side. So I thought that was, a really nice idea because you could turn it around or you could place it in a location where it will be seen from both sides. Like say, for example, on a table or on a buffet table, on a counter, on a desk, something like that. Okay, so now I am taking my sponge applicator. I get these at the Dollar Tree, but you could get them anywhere. I even saw them at my grocery store, so not hard to find these sponge applicators. So I'm going over that white area and I'm covering it with a nice amount of evenly distributed Mod Podge. All right, after that's completely dry, I'm going to place my napkin down on there with a piece of parchment paper on top. I have my mini Cricut heat press here. Love it. But if you don't have one, no problem. You can use a dry iron. Make sure you don't have any fluid in your iron, no steam. And you could do the same thing. And this just goes on so amazingly. The best method ever to apply napkin to a surface. Now, again, I'm going to do the other side. So I don't know that it was exactly the same, but I did, again, try and really showcase as many flowers as possible. So I'm going to go ahead on that side and do my iron, my Cricut heat press, and iron out that napkin. Now for my other sections, I'm going to be using scrapbook paper. I got my scrapbook paper that I'm using on this egg is from Joann's. It's a beautiful, nice weight scrapbook paper. It's kind of an orchid with white polka dots. Very pretty. I use it quite often. If you follow my channel, certainly not the first time you've seen it. But it's super, super pretty on this egg. Okay, so I am going to be using my zip sander to clean up those edges. I'm not using it for my scrapbook paper, but I am using it for the napkin because it works so beautifully. And notice how I am just applying my zip sander on the downward stroke. And that gives you the cleanest edge. So perfect. Now you can use, a sanding block, a little piece of sandpaper. You could even use a nail file, anything like that to clean up the edges. Just needs that rough surface to go to clean up the edges of that egg. And this just turned out so, so pretty. Now, this egg, it has so much potential. You could use any color combination that you would like. You could use a very cute napkin with bunnies on it. You could use a floral pattern in whatever color you like. And combine it with the scrapbook paper. Think outside the box, not doing everything, as expected. Not just covering the whole egg with the napkin, but creating some visual interest by using scrapbook paper or other materials. Okay, so I traced around that section of my egg with my pencil. And now I'm just carefully cutting that out. Now, another thing that you could do, and you'll see me doing this here in a bit, is you could just place your scrapbook paper down on your egg and then just run your finger, your nail over the edge, and it will actually crease your scrapbook paper so that you could just cut it out by following those crease lines in your scrapbook paper. So now if you wanted to, you could use a glue stick to adhere this. I'm going to go ahead and use Mod Podge to adhere that as well. And then I'm going to also do my section at the bottom. Now it's okay if it overlaps just a little bit over your napkin. You of course don't want to see any evidence of that egg underneath your paper. So you want to be sure that your seams are perfect. You see how I have that creased there. Very easy to cut that out by doing that. And of course, I'm going to be doing that on both sides. Now, I'm going to be, as I mentioned, embellishing the other side a little bit different. I'm going to be using the pearl stickers, if you will. Beautiful pearl designs available in those packages of pearl trims that you can get in the aisle where the paper studio is at Hobby Lobby. Every other week, that is 40% off, and that's when I take advantage of my little paper flowers or anything that I normally purchase in the paper studio. These pearl trims were not Paper Studio brand, but they were in the same aisle where you find Paper Studio products. So I'm proceeding on to place my scrapbook paper. I want that nice and straight. And I'm going to, of course, be doing that on both sides. Now, any trimming that I need to do for the scrapbook paper applied to this egg, I just use my sharp scissors. I certainly would not use a sanding block on that scrapbook paper. It would ruin the edges, and it's a thick scrapbook paper anyway. So yeah, you don't want to use a sanding block on that. Okay, now, as typically I do on any of these Dollar Tree pieces, whether it's a carrot or the egg or a bunny, I like to apply ribbon to the edges of my piece. So I start on the bottom so that my seam where the ribbon comes together is going to be on the underside and it won't be seen. I'm using a pretty white satin ribbon here. This ribbon is 5/8 inch. If you get a 5/8 inch ribbon of any kind, that will sit beautifully on the edge of these Dollar Tree pieces. Okay, so on this side, I'm going to use one of my pearl trims. It's a straight line design. It has different size little pearls. It's a very, very pretty trim. And those trims have an amazing backing on them in that they stick extremely well. Now, I'm also going to use ribbons on the seams between my napkin and my scrapbook paper. And this helps to really add visual interest and really finishes those seams off very beautifully on this piece. Now, you can see I'm going about peeling off one of my pearl designs from that cellophane. And it is, let me tell you how sticky these are. Once you get them stuck to your fingers, it's like, oh my goodness, trying to get them off. But you would rather have a product like that really sticks. Well, that's a little tiny bit off center maybe. I think I fixed that later. But this design I'm going to place right on the top of my egg. And then for the pearl trim, I'm going to place that in the bottom section. I think one of my little pearls, I think I pulled it off. So just using my tacky glue to fix that. Got to get my yeah, I knew that was coming. My craft tweezers. Whenever I work with little pearls or little gems of any kind, I love to use my craft tweezers. I think I got my set of craft tweezers on Amazon a few years ago, and I really love them. Okay, now for this piece, that's going to go pretty much right down the center of that bottom section with the scrapbook paper. And I wish you could see this up really close. It's really a beautiful, beautiful little pearl design on there. And that just peels right off. And then I'm just going to place that on my scrapbook paper. I don't need to glue this. This will stick just extremely well. so I don't see any need for that. And even though it's sticky, I could still pull it up from the scrapbook paper and readjust. So no need to worry about that. It's very sticky, but not so sticky that I can't correct an error in placement. Oh, it's coming along so pretty. And every aspect of this egg is finished. The sides, the back, the front, everything. And to me, this looks like a beautiful high-end Easter decor piece. All right, so I have a beautiful orchid ribbon that, of course, I got in the ribbon section in the sewing department at Walmart. That's where I get all of my narrow ribbons, virtually all of them. Now, I'm using Aleene's tacky glue, not hot glue here. And when I apply my glue, I'm just really going for like a very scant amount. So I drag my nozzle of my glue tip and just give very little bit of glue. But this is Aleene's tacky, so it is going to hold beautifully. I just don't want any oozing or any evidence of that glue underneath ribbon. Now I'm going to wait for those ribbons to dry a little bit, and then later I will just go around with my sharp scissors and trim off the excess. Now on this side, I placed my narrow ribbon down, but I'm going to do something a little extra. I have this very small rickrack, and I'm going to place that right on top of that pretty orchid ribbon. Again, scant amount of glue, trying to get that straight. And then I'm also going to do that on the bottom over that ribbon as well. Now, as you see me doing this egg, I hope that your creative wheels are turning because this is just a fun project with so much creative potential. Think of how pretty this would look on a foyer table or a buffet table, your counter, on your desk, on your fireplace mantle. Just, yeah, so much potential. And so much fun. Love doing these eggs. Okay, and again, just going to wait for that to dry a little bit. Then after it's dry, I'm going to go around with my sharp scissors, as I mentioned, and just trim off the excess. Okay, now, for the top of my egg, if you noticed in the intro when I showed you the egg, I have something very pretty going on top of that egg. Now, in the past, if you follow my channel, you saw me do what I call a straight line bow. But what I'm going to do today is a combination of the straight line bow, which you'll see me do here in just a bit, if you're not familiar, and the bows that I normally create. So this is the method that I use to create my bows. I'm just folding over my loops, pinching it in the center, and I'm going to take a little piece of floral wire, 26 gauge I got from the Dollar Tree, wrap it around the center. I'm going to leave about 3 inches for the tails. Now hang in here with me because I'm going to show you something that you haven't seen me do before. And this just, makes the top of this egg look so pretty. Now, something you have seen me do, and in the past month or so, in creating Easter decor, is I'm a little bit crazy for this orchid ribbon. Yeah, I love it so much, and I keep using it over and over. But a combination that I'm absolutely in love with as well is creating this bow with an orchid satin ribbon. So I'm using a sheer ribbon and a satin ribbon. Mix it up. I always tell you all this. Mix it up. Mix your patterns, mix your materials, mix your textures. Say that 10 times really fast. And, change it up. Make it interesting looking. Okay, so now I'm creating one of my bows, again, that I create in this manner where I fold over my loops, twist it, fold it over, that method. Little difficult to learn that now, today, but I'm going to be doing a tutorial highlighting the bows that I do on my channel. Everything from my standard method that I do where I fold over my loops, where I do my big bows, when I mix my ribbons, all of that I'm going to do. But I'm also going to do my figure 8 bows, and I'm going to show you how I use my little wood block with the pegs in it that my son and I designed and created. Boy, do I love that as well. So, there's a lot of need for different types of bows. And so I'm going to do a video once I get done with all of this Easter decor that I'm having so much fun doing. And I'm going to show you in detail how I create my bows. Okay, I added a couple of little diamond-shaped pearls on there over and under my little pearl trim, just giving it a little bit more embellishment there. And now I'm taking my sharp scissors and I'm just going to snip that off just by placing the blades of my scissors right along the line of the egg. Snip it off, and that works like a charm. Okay, on my other side, I went ahead and I applied the embellishments that I'm going to use. That one has a heart at the top, and this one is like a scroll design with pearls. Doesn't show up terribly well here on the video, but in person, oh boy, it's just so pretty. So I urge you to go either to Michael's, they have this type of thing as well, those trims, or Hobby Lobby, and watch for the sale weeks and look at the pearl trims. Oh boy, can you have fun with those. All right, now I'm on the other side of my egg, and I'm doing something different on this side. I'm going to take a very narrow white satin ribbon. Again, doing it exactly the same way as I did the other side. I'm going to do it on both of the seams. Okay, beautiful. Now, originally I thought I was going to put a sash bow with a sheer ribbon around the center. I was going to tie it around the bow and tie it around the egg. I'm sorry, I can't speak today. Tie it around the egg and make a big, loopy bow. But I decided, no way, I'm not covering up that beautiful napkin. Okay, now watch. I'm going to do something a little bit different here today. I really wanted to add something beautiful to the top of my egg, make it really look elegant and high-end. So I'm going to use my very pretty satin orchid ribbon. This is 5/8 inch. Now the first piece that I cut is going to be 10 inches. And I'm going to find the center point of that, and I'm just going to fold the loops over and meet them in the center. Not quite yet, just still cutting here. Then I'm going to cut a 12-inch piece. Then I'm going to cut a 14-inch piece. And I believe I did a 16-inch piece as well. It's thundering. I don't know if you can hear that. I live in Florida, and now every day we're going to start getting the thunderstorms. Oh, boy, I dread it. Okay, back to the egg. So I'm going to find the center point of my ribbon, fold over my loop, and meet it equally in the center. So my loops are going to be exactly the same size, and I do that by finding the center point and just folding the loops over and gluing them down in the center with a little dab of glue. I have a little pearl stuck on my nail there. Okay, so I am going to create all of these loops. And this is how I originally had shown you how to do what I call a line bow. And it's just building loops in a line shape or a straight ribbon shape. It's a different type of a bow I don't use very often, but on an egg or on like a rectangular gift box, very pretty. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing here. Oops, my ribbon popped off. I'm using Aleene's Tacky here, not hot glue, so I have to make sure that I get those to stick. And this is going to be so pretty. Wait till you see how pretty this is. Okay, now I'm doing my next one. So it's 10, 12, 14, and 16. I'll put that in the description box. No need to have to worry about it now. Folding it over. Now make sure, if you're using a satin ribbon, whoops, I did it again. Make sure that you have the right side of your ribbon now facing you, because you want the pretty side of the ribbon. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and glue my little bow to the sheer bow, the satin bow to the sheer bow. I left about 3 to 4 inches of tails on there. So you kind of have to, give it a little bit of time to set there. Now I'm doing that last one, which is the 16-inch. I decided I wanted one more of those little layers to my line bow. And this is going to drape over the egg. Oh my goodness. Going to be so pretty. So I do the same thing with the 16-inch piece. I fold it in half, find my center point. That's where I'm going to have my loops meet right there in the center. And I'm going to be placing the longest one on the bottom, draped over the egg, and then I progress to smaller, and then smaller, and then smaller. And then right in the center of that, oh boy, the beautiful little bow that I created goes in there, and it is just so pretty. Okay, trimming off my ribbons from that the other side that I just did. Okay. Now, see how my ribbons line up there? Now, the biggest one, which is the 16-inch one, you're going to find the center point of the top of your egg. See how that's going to drape over your egg? Okay. Now I use a little dab of hot glue to hold that on. I'm okay with using hot glue for this part. I really need something with a immediate hold to do this part. Now see how the loops of that bow drape over the egg. Now later on you can tack those down a little bit. But for now we're just going to go ahead and keep layering on those loop pieces. So my next smaller one, which is the 14-inch, little dab of glue, press that right in the center there. Okay, the next one, which is the 12-inch. Going to glue that one on. Just a little stream of glue will do it. Try and match up all of your centers upon one another. Also try and keep the ribbon straight, as straight as you can. You'll find that later, after you get everything all, it's going to be so pretty. After you get everything all put together, you can actually train your bow loops to sit straight on there just by putting a little dab of glue on the underside of the bow. You won't even see it. Okay, here comes the last loop. And then there's this beautiful little area right there in the center where that very cute little bow was going to rest. Now, the tails of your bow are going to be just on one side. But if you turn it around, it's still going to be pretty on the other side. You're just only going to have tails on one side. So I picked my favorite side and I placed my bow on there. And again, it looks like the bow loops are a little bit crooked, but like I said, after you get everything all glued on, you can train those loops to sit perfectly in alignment with one another by simply putting a tiny dab of glue on the underside of your loop. And I would do that closer to the center of the bow than out on the tip of the loops. Did that make sense? When you lift up your loop, make sure you put your little dab of glue closer to the center than out at the end of the loop. I hope that made sense. Okay, so then I popped my very pretty little bow, trimming up the tails here on an angled cut. And oh boy, did this make a beautiful topper for this egg. And I'm going to show you here in just a second. It's just so pretty. I chose the side with the pretty scrolly design with the pearls for the front of my egg. But like I said, if you turn this around, that bow is going to look pretty from the back side as well. Oh boy, I am just loving this. Let me know what you think of this. This certainly does not look like that wood egg that I purchased from the shelf at the Dollar Tree, does it? I love it so much. Let me know what you think. And also let me know what you think you would do with yours. What colors would you use? What style would you do? What kind of ribbons would you use? Would you do the big bow on the top? Yeah, I love hearing, what you all have plans to do with your pieces. Also, I love, oh my goodness, would love receiving pictures of your projects. You can send them to my email. Oh, it just makes my heart so happy to see that I've inspired you to create. Okay, let's do this beautiful wood egg. Now, I love the wood eggs. This is a nice size one, too. See how it fits in my hand? It's really a nice size egg. Now, I got my eggs at Hobby Lobby, but I want to say it was last season that I didn't get any this season, but I believe I did see the wood eggs at Hobby Lobby. I also think you can get these at Michael's. And this nice size egg really goes beautifully. If you're doing a napkin on the egg, a decoupage napkin on the egg that has a bigger design. If you have a tiny design on your napkin, it's fine if you get the little smaller one, but mine happened to have a little bit bigger flowers, so this egg really worked nicely for me. So I took some masking tape and I balled it up and put it on the table to hold my egg while I paint it. Now, I put 2 coats of Snow White Waverly chalk paint. I do not want to put my napkin on that wood egg without painting it white first. Okay, so I did, at least I thought that I filmed this part where I put the flower on. But I guess I didn't. I must have got over anxious and forgot to press record. But no problem. I'm going to show you how I did it. I just got started without you, that's all. Okay, so what I do is I take my napkin and I cut out shapes from the napkin. I like little greenery pieces and just a single bloom of a flower, as well as the bigger designs. I take my sponge applicator. I put my Mod Podge in a paper bowl, and so I could just dip my applicator in there. And I just use a small area of the egg at a time to apply my napkin pieces. I love doing eggs like this. It's like you can do no wrong with this, doing this. It's just so easy to do. There's no right or wrong. You just apply your little design from your napkin, place it on wet Mod Podge, then take your little sponge applicator and just dab it over the top, and that just seals all the edges. And oh my goodness, what fun these are to create. I like just to cut out a lot of my pieces so that once I start doing it, the egg, they're all ready to go. But again, another thing that I do is I do half an egg at a time and just let the other half dry. And then I come back like an hour later and finish the other half of the egg. To me, that's easier to do it that way. Now, I really cut down my napkin around my little edges of whatever it is I'm getting ready to apply. This way I can see exactly how it's going to fit in between the areas that are still open on that egg. So I like to apply my biggest pieces first. It's kind of like when, you build a wreath. You put the biggest flowers on first. Same with this egg. No different. And wherever I have any little open areas, that's where I place a little piece of greenery or maybe a single bloom from a flower on that napkin. I don't know. That's just so therapeutic to do these kinds of eggs. I don't know. They're just so relaxing. And yeah, you got to do this. I think you could apply these to any type. I wouldn't do styrofoam, but if you could find any type of egg with a smooth surface. But I just love the idea of these wood eggs. They have a little bit of weight to them, and they're just so pretty. Just so pretty in a bowl with all different eggs with pretty prints. Think how pretty that would look on your table. In a basket or a pretty bowl. You could put these on a wreath. Oh boy, that would be nice. Or any type of centerpiece, you could insert them. But see how I'm going to all of my little areas where I have empty space. And I want to fill it in as much as possible until I'm satisfied with the way the egg looks. And this just, with this beautiful napkin, let me tell you, Home Goods. Go to Home Goods. Oh my goodness. The selection of spring and Easter napkins. I went to a Home Goods the other day. It was like the Disney World of Home Goods. I'm telling you, I just couldn't believe everything that I saw there. And that's where I picked up a couple packages of beautiful napkins. All right, here's my wood block piece. I'm going to show you how I created this, and my son created it, by the way. I don't want to take all the credit. But the way we created it, I can create bows of different widths. So what I do is I wrap my ribbon around with the right side facing out, and then I just bring it around and I tie a knot around the center, slide it off, and I have a perfect bow with all of the sides, the right sides of the ribbon facing me. I do up to 4-inch bows on here. And it's so pretty. My son made it for me, and I told him what I wanted and how I wanted it, and he did such a beautiful job of creating that for me. And I absolutely love it. I think it's a great thing to have on hand. So easy to make with wood and some wood dowels. My son just happened to make mine really beautiful. He stained it, and oh my goodness, it even has little rubber feet on the bottom. Okay, so we'll talk more about that when I do my bow tutorial, okay? So now I wanted to put, of course, you know me, have to have a little bow on my egg. So I used my really pretty little white ribbon with the floral print on it. And I'm just going to wrap it right around the center of my egg, nice and snug. And I'm just going to hot glue that. And that little bow that I just created, I'm going to put that bow right on the seam. So you won't see that seam at all on the egg because I'm going to cover it up with my little bow. I'm telling you, I think I could sit and make these eggs all day long. Home Goods is what I meant to tell you. Also, as well, of course, TJ Maxx, Marshall's, the at-home store. Sometimes you can even find them at the grocery store. But these are really high-end napkins. So you're going to see if you go to Home Goods that those napkins are definitely a different caliber of napkin. Very beautiful. So I'm going to just put a little dab of glue underneath my loops so that bow sits absolutely perfectly on my egg. Now you could do the bow, not do the bow, completely up to you. You know, I like that kind of look, so I did mine. And that's it. One beautiful napkin, 2 beautiful projects. I hope you love these, and I hope you feel inspired to make them. Let me know if you do, and what colors you will use and materials. Look at that bow. Gorgeous, right? So pretty. Okay, so there's my pretty little egg in a basket. Remember, if you enjoy this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. Share this video with your friends. Maybe make one of these eggs for your friend. How about that? Or a family member, of course. Okay, until next time, you all take care.